Good morning. Welcome. Your body thanks you for taking some time to really pay attention. I want to start with just a little awareness, anatomy awareness, pelvis. I'm always talking about the pubic bone. So I thought, ooh, let's show you the pubic bone. Because you can feel it. Go ahead and down and touch. You know, you'll feel this bony place. And I want you to see how in the center here, this is a joint. The pubic symphysis is a joint. Nobody ever talks about that joint. And then, you know, we talk about the elbow joint and the shoulder joint and the wrist and my big toe and my hip and my spine. Whoever talks about the front of the pubic bone there. And then these other brown things you see here, this is the SI joint. And when I'm asking you to move the pelvis, there's a little bit of movement that happens at all these joints. If they move too much, I get too much laxity. I really need to strengthen these outer hips. We're going to do that at the end of class. But what I want you to I just want you to see. I just want you to see. So pubic bone, I'm going to ask you to move your pubic bone towards your face and away from the face. And then the other thing are these two sit bones. So see the knobby, these little bones of your butt. So I'm going to ask you to sit on the bones of the butt, and then when we tuck and untuck, we kind of move towards the back of the sit bones and then up on top of the sit bones, and we move forward of the sit bones. And when we're doing that, the whole pelvis is moving. So you can pay attention to the pubic bone, you can pay attention to the sit bones. And then when I say the side of your hip bones, that's these big round bones. You can touch yourself right now. And we got to touch that arc. That's the ilium. And so I'll say, lift your hip bone, lift your hip bone. Feel the sit bone on one side go down and this hip bone go up. That's what you're going to look like. Isn't that fun? And then this, of course, is your sacrum in the middle. It's like a triangular bone. And then we get into the L's. L, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what I'm always trying to express to you and have you experience is if we keep these joints in the pelvis moving and also stable, then the lower back muscles don't have to work so hard. So most people, when they have a back issue, that lower lumbar is the real issue. If this is all bound up and tight and out of balance, then the back is going to have to compensate for that. So we organize the pelvis first in my classes. So there you go. There's your pelvis. What else? Oh, there's your little tailbone. See? Oh, let's talk about that for a moment. Let's do some contrast here. So there's the pelvic floor, is this space between tailbone and the two sit bones and your pubic bone. This is a big web of muscles. So when we contract the pelvic floor, it pulls sit bones and tailbone together, it closes up that space. That might happen when we're cold. And we're in pain. Maybe you hurt your ankle, or you hurt your toe, you bump your knee, and you go, ooh. We tend to go, whoop, and we squeeze and hold these pelvic floor muscles. So they're down there, okay? So I often ask you to breathe down there, create some movement in these muscles. All right, blah, 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 there's your pelvis. Okay, we're gonna start in the chair. And I want to start in the chair today because it's, we spend a lot of time sitting in the chair. I really want you to know how to do some things in the chair that help you. And the other thing is I want to play around with this, you know, you ever have this knot at the top of your shoulders here, the bottom of your neck? And it's easy to sit well and get into that neck area. So I thought that would be good today. Okay. So I'm assuming everybody can. Everybody can hear me? Okay. Let's begin sitting in the chair, and you can move the meat of your butt kind of back so that you can really feel those bones of your butt. Oh, the sun is shining right in my face. I love it. Let's pause here. Rest your hands on your legs, sitting tall. Just bring the chin down a little bit. And we're going to breathe into the front and back of the torso. See if you can feel the breath expand towards your back and towards your front. Take the next 2 breaths and breathe into the side ribs. I love when you touch yourself. Bring your fingers, I like the backs of the fingers on the side ribs. And take 2 breaths, feeling the breath expand, widening, and softening. In the next 2 breaths, we breathe high and low. Bring your hand to the collarbones and one hand down towards your pubic bone and breathe high and low. Not forcing, just being aware. Rest your hands on your legs and breathe in all directions. Front, back, side to side, high and low. One more breath. Letting the breath return to its natural rhythm. We begin to move. Let's tuck and untuck. So I'm going to start with this awareness in my shoulders. I'm going to draw my shoulders towards each other in the front. Draw the belly in. Now I go to the back of my sit bones. I'm on the meaty part of my butt as my back moves towards my chair. I'm going to lower my head, reach the arms towards my knees. I'm in a tuck position. Then feel the pubic bone move down. Feel yourself come up on top of the sit bones, forward of the sit bones, arching the back. Draw the shoulders towards each other behind you. Lift your face. And let's go back and forth. So I go to the back of the sit bones, draw the belly in, reach the arms out. Think about the shoulders coming towards each other in the front. Drop the head. And then up onto the sit bones. Move the pubic bone down, arching the back. Draw the shoulder blades back, lift the face. Let's add the breath. So we exhale as we round the back, go into the tuck. Inhale as you move the pubic bone down, arching the back, lift the face, draw the shoulders back. Let's do a couple more, just nice and easy. Forward bending through the spine. Back bending through the spine. No excuses. You can do this every day. I don't want to hear that you haven't done yoga in 2 weeks. If you're doing this in the chair, you can count this as a little bit of yoga. And every little bit helps. This is the last one. Let's end in the arch, the untucked. Shoulders back, face to the sun. Take a breath. And then relax back in neutral. Pause, feel yourself up on those sit bones. Take a breath. Oh, I can breathe a little fuller, a little easier. And now we're going to shift from side to side. So really be up on the sit bones. I have a lumbar curve. I'm in neutral. I'm not tucking or untucking. And I'm just going to shift from one bone in the butt to the other. Heavier on one sit bone than the other. See if when you lean into one sit bone, you can hike up the hip of the other sit bone. Let your arms rest down by your sides. And allow the movement of the pelvis to come all the way up the spine to your head. And I can just add a little arm as I contract through one side and my head goes down, I can reach a little bit down. Reach a little bit down. We're just moving. No pain. If you're going to the point of pain, back off a little bit, please. We're just moving tissues so that you don't become stiff and dehydrated. Then we start to feel old. Let the movement come all the way up into your neck. Now we're side bending. If you have scoliosis, you might notice, ooh, one side is harder to side bend than the other. And if you feel that, I want you to go back to center and do the tighter side a couple of times. So I go back to center and I might just tip into the right sit bone, lift the left. Give the tighter side a little extra love. And this last one goes side to side. You can do this anywhere, you know, and then pause in the center. Take a breath. Now let's rotate. So I'm going to take my left foot, do the same side as me. So I'm going to take my left foot forward. I'm going to bring my left hand over to my right shoulder. Now take the left sit bone forward. So left foot, left leg, left sit bone. So my pelvis is a little turned. My right foot can tuck back under the chair a little bit. And I'm just going to lead with my elbow. And I'm going to draw myself around. The pelvis moves into the twist. My right arm, the other arm is just going to rest down towards the floor. I'm just going to rotate around as far as I can go. I'm going to bump into some resistance, can't go any further, and I'm going to come out nice and slow. Make sure you're not in a tucked position. So I have that lumbar curve. I'm going to go around again. Feel the pelvis. Rotate belly organs. Turn the head. And come out nice and slow. When you come out and you're facing forward, I want you to go ahead and turn your head to the left. Look all the way over that left shoulder. Turn the head back to the center. Let's go again. Move the pelvis. We're twisting to the right. Feel the belly. Close your eyes. Move the elbow. Turn the head. And now stay here with your elbow, but turn your head back to the center towards me. Hello. Smile. And then take your head back to the right. Take a breath. And then nice and slow come out. And release. Let's do the other side. So these are really simple movements that create a lot of change. Ready? Right foot forward, right sit bone forward, right hand to the left shoulder, and we're just going to rotate around. So I feel my pelvis move. I'm going to rotate my elbow around. My left arm is just hanging down to the side. I'm going to turn my head, and I'm like, oh, I feel stiff here. It's a little stuck. That's fine. And then rotate forward. As I rotate forward, I can take my head, look over that right shoulder. And I'm going to go back to the twist, head center. Feel your pelvis move. My right sit bone is forward. My belly organs move. The muscles along my spine are pulling me into the twist. And then I'm going to come out. And again, I'm going to come back to the center with the torso, but take the head and turn the head to the right. Always staying in comfort. Let's go again. So I'm going to rotate around. Feel your pelvis move first. Belly organs. Elbow. Turn the head. Now stay here. Keep your elbow here. Stay in the twist. Now turn your head back to the front. Hello. So my elbow is still moving into the twist. My head is untwisted. Turn the head back to the left. Inhale as you go. Exhale. Maybe you can go a little tiny bit further. And then come out nice and slow. And relax. That keeps the spine moving. And now it'll be a little easier to sit up on the sit bones, and it will be a little easier to breathe. Oh, yes, it's a little easier to breathe. Let's take the elbows out to the sides. Bring your fingertips to the top of your shoulders. And we're going to make some little circles. Imagine you have paint on your elbows and you're drawing circles. And you can spiral out, letting those circles get bigger and bigger. You know, often when we hurt ourselves, we feel really wonky, left side, right side. You know, we might hurt our toe or our ankle, but we compensate all the way up into the shoulders. As you make this bigger, can you get your elbows to come in front of you and touch? Can you draw the shoulder blades back, squeeze them back? Let the shoulder blades lift up, round forward, touch the elbows. Think about the shoulder blades moving. Go the other direction. Shoulder blades are gliding up and down your back. Last one. And then I'm going to pause with my elbows out to the sides. And then just do a little up and down. This reminds me of a seesaw. So I go down with one shoulder, up with one elbow, down with one elbow, go the other way. So we really want the shoulder blades to glide up and down the back of your ribs. See if one side feels easier than the other. Last one. And then relax your arms down. Give the arms a little jiggle, 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 jiggle. All right. So for the next one, turn your ears on, pay attention. There's a lot of instruction, but it's really easy. Don't go to the biggest possible place, okay? When I say a little, I really mean a little. Let's try. So we're going to begin. This is for that knot at the top of the shoulders. So if you reach back, you know when somebody grabs the back of the shoulders and they give you a little and you go, oh my God, that feels so good. Doesn't feel the same when you do it to yourself. So let's sit tall for a moment. Rest your arms down by your sides and just turn the head slowly left and right. Noticing the difference between the two sides. Notice where you're stuck. And then back into the center. All right, so you can be my mirror. I won't say left and right so that you can follow along. I'm going to do this side over here. Okay. So we're going to take the head halfway. This would be my right, so it would be your left. Halfway to the left. Now I'm going to tip my ear slightly down to my shoulder. See how little it is? Now as I'm going to bring my shoulder up to my ear, I'm going to bend the elbow. Not as far as humanly possible. Tip your head back slightly. Now move your elbow back in space. It'll make the shoulder blade and shoulder ride up. We're holding a contraction. And then we're going to slowly let it relax. Rest your arm down by your side. You can do it 2 more times. We're pandiculating. Ready? Turn the head halfway to the right. Bring the ear slightly towards the shoulder. Bend the elbow. Raise the right shoulder towards, your left shoulder. I knew I said it shouldn't say right and left. I'm sorry. And I'm going to tip my head back. And then I'm going to move my elbow back in space. So it brings my shoulder up towards my ear. I feel contracted, mushy. See my movement? And then slowly lower down. Let it relax. Last one. So you're going to your left if you're being my mirror. So I'm going to go halfway to the left with my head. Tip the ear towards the shoulder. Draw the shoulder up, bend the elbow. Tip the head back. Move your elbow back in space. Hold that contraction. The next part's important. Come out super slow. Bring the head up, relax the arm. Let the arms hang down by your side. See if that arm feels longer than the other. Notice the 2 sides of your neck. Maybe turn the head a little side to side. Let's do the other side. All right, ready? So this is my left, it'll be your right. I'm going to turn my head just a little bit, like halfway, maybe less. Tip the ear towards the shoulder, not to the point of pain or stretch. Draw the shoulder up, bend the elbow. Tip the head back slightly. Now move your elbow back in space. You'll feel like you just took your shoulder blade and shoulder up. You feel all contracted and compressed on that side. We hold it. And important, come out slowly. Lower the shoulder, bring the head back up, relax your arm down by your side, take a breath. Heavy arms, start in a relaxed state. Let's do it again. Head turns, tip the head towards the shoulder, draw the shoulder up, bend the elbow, tip the head slightly back, move your elbow back. It'll elevate the shoulder more. This is the levator. It elevates your shoulders. It's what happens when you hold your shoulders up and you're cold. Nice and slow, lower down. Relax completely, arms are heavy. 3 is the magic number. Turn the head slightly to the right. Tip the ear to the shoulder. Draw the shoulder up, bend your elbow. Tip your head back. Move your elbow back. Hold the contraction. Relax the other arm heavy. It might feel stretchy. Come out nice and slow. Give the arms a little wiggle, sitting tall up on top of the sit bones. And turn the head a little left and right, see how you feel. Now my right side is always my tight side. I always have some tension in there as I lift everything with that right arm. And I've been doing this all week and it feels so much better than ever. And you know, about 35 years ago, my neck used to freeze up so much. I wish I had known this then. My neck would freeze up and I'd be flat on my back for 2 days. There was nothing else I could do but lay down flat. And then I found yoga. Ready? Bring the elbows out to your legs, interlace the fingers. You might need a block here between your feet. Now we're going to let the head hang down. Give a little traction through the neck. Lean into the arm bones. Now create a little movement here. Push into your leg bones with your arms and then lean. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, watch. I'm pushing and leaning. Just creating some movement in the tissues through the arms, shoulders, and neck. And then we're going to stay in the forward bend. And you can either push or you can lean. I'm going to lean. And just pause here for a moment and feel the breath. Can you let your head be a little heavier? If you have bulging herniated discs, you want to stay right here. If you have high blood pressure, stay right here. Detached retina, stay right here. Otherwise, down you go, hands towards the floor or a block. This is good for stenosis. If you have lower lumbar stenosis. Stay as long as you like. When you're ready, bring one elbow at a time, back up onto your legs, interlace the fingers, hang the head, take a breath. Keep your head down. Bring one hand at a time to your thighs so you can use your arms. Push yourself all the way back up to sitting in the chair. Take a breath. Notice how you feel. Alrighty-roo. Let's see. I wasn't going to do this, but I think we're going to do this. Bring one ankle to your thigh. It's like we're here, you know, it's easy. Maybe you don't like this pose and you need me to tell you to do it. So here I am telling you to do it. Yeah, I'm taking my socks off, feeling comfortable. So let's just move the knee up and down. Know that if this is a challenge for you, you could do a couple of things. You could elevate your butt, bring a blanket under your butt, onto your chair, or a towel. You can use your hand to move your leg. And now let's try, don't use your hand and lift your knee up and down. One more time. And then pause. All right, now what I want you to do is we're going to create some resistance. There's already some resistance in there, and this will help it release. So try to do this. Bring your hand under your leg. See how my hand is under my knee? Now I'm not lifting myself up, okay? My hand is under my knee, and then I'm going to start to push my knee into my hand, but at the same time, push my hand into my knee. So you can see I'm not moving, but I feel this engagement in the hip joint, and then relax. Let's try it again. Ready? I just meet myself where I am. I'm going to start to push my hand, my knee into my hand and my hand into my knee, and I feel some contraction through the inner thigh, towards my under butt, and then release. And I'm going to do just one more time. So I'm going to press my knee down, push my hand into my knee into my hand. I feel this contraction coming around into the side of my butt. These are all these muscles down under the hip, and release. So that might help you feel a little freer, so we can keep the ankle bent, and we're going to lean a little forward towards the leg that's on the ground, and then come away. Just nice and gentle. Like a gentle rock. I can let the head go. So now we've gotten some tension to release. Now we're going into a stretch, but we're coming away from it. And the body likes this. The body's like, oh, okay, we're not being tortured. That's nice. So you can keep the movement going, or you can pause the movement, let the head hang, take a few breaths. And then come up nice and slow. Help the leg down. Doop. Try the other side. Ankle to the thigh. Bend the ankle. I'm going to use my hand to lift my knee up and down. Start to lubricate that hip joint. Synovial fluid moving around in there. Now I'm going to do a few where I don't use my hand. Now I'm using my muscles. I'm lifting my knee up and I'm pressing my knee down. And now I'm going to create some tension in order to get the muscles that are tight to release. And we'll do this, sometimes we do it pushing down. Today we're going to do it lifting up. So my hand just meets my knee presses into my hand presses back, so I feel my arm muscles turn on. We hold it for 2 breaths, and then we let it relax. Touch. Press the knee down, press the hand back, hold, and relax. Last one. Press the knee into the hand into the knee. Notice how I don't move, but I'm feeling that contraction, right? And then when I come out, it relaxes more than normal. And we're ready to move, a little bounce. I don't like the word bounce. Don't say bounce. It's more of a rock. As you come forward, think about going towards the leg that's on the ground. Keep your ankle bent. Is this side tighter than the other side? So if the rocking feels good for you, you can keep doing that. And if you're ready to pause and stay in the stretch, let your head go down. I really feel that coming up into my lower back, through my butt. And if you're happy there, stay. When you're ready to come out, lift your knee and come on out. And then just nice and easy, just kind of move the knees a little side to side. Feel how you rock on your feet. Move your knees, move the hips. Okay, scooch a little bit towards the edge of the chair. We'll do a little bit of a psoas release. So we've been sitting for a while. We've been moving a lot, but we've really been sitting. And when we go to stand up, this can feel very stiff. So we'll do a psoas release before we come up. Real easy, arms down. You can hold onto your chair. I'm gonna lift my left knee about an inch and hold it. Ready? As I lift one knee, the other foot presses down gently, but I'm contracting here. I'm untucked, my pubic bone is moving down. I'm gonna hold the contraction and then nice and slow, relax. So move the pubic bone down. Don't wanna be in a tuck, pubic bone down. Lift the foot off the floor an inch, and I feel this contraction deep in the crease of the hip, and slowly lower down. Can move it around a little bit. I want to do one more time. So we're going to lift the foot. And as I lift the foot, I feel this contraction. The other foot wants to help. It's keeping me stable so I don't fall off my chair. But I really want the contraction here. Light on the foot. And release. Give it a little wiggle. Now this is something that you can do. You can't do both at the same time. You got to do one foot at a time. But this is something you can do if you've been sitting for a long time and it's time to get up. Let's do side two. Ready? Lift the knee. I lift my foot off the ground about an inch. Move the pubic bone down. I'm contracting the psoas so that I can get it to relax more than normal. Two more times. Ready? Lift the knee, feel the contraction, untuck, pubic bone down, have a little arch in the lower back. So my psoas is working, it's working, it's working. And then I'm gonna let it relax. And I like to move it. And then we do last one, ready? Pubic bone down, lifting the knee. Everybody can do this, anybody can do this. There's just no excuses, people. Feel the weight on the foot that's on the ground, and then nice and slow, lower down. And then just move the knee. And once we release that tension that we've been holding, we're going to be able to stand up easier. Now, when I stand up, it's going to chop my head off. But here's where we go. Ready? We're going to lean a little forward. I'm on the edge of my chair. And as I lean forward, I want your heart over your heels. You can place your hands on your thighs. I'm untucked in the pelvis. I'm going to press down into my feet. And as you come all the way up, I want you to send the hip creases forward and give your buns a little squeeze. Let's do it again. Ready? Back up your butt. Feel the chair. Feet are separated. Bend from the hips. Bend your knees. Stick your butt out. Look at your knees. Make sure they're not knocking into each other. And I want you to come all the way down and sit in your chair. And then we're coming out. Ready? Lean forward, heart over heels. Press down into your feet. Use the front of your thighs. Come all the way up. Send the hip creases forward. Squeeze the glutes. All right, now the next time we're going to do is a challenge. I'm going to send my hips back. Make my knees go forward. Don't let them knock into each other. Untuck the pelvis. We're looking for the chair, but we're not going to sit down. You're welcome to place your hands on your thighs if you like. Or for more of a challenge, bring your arms out in front of you. Feel weight back in your heels. We're untucked, we can breathe. We're gonna push down into the feet, come all the way up. Send the front of the hips forward, squeeze the glutes, and we're gonna do it again. Ready? Hands on your thighs or arms forward. Send your butt back. Untuck the pelvis. Lowering down. Feel the weight in your heels. And now we can do a little bit more of a challenge. I can come up an inch, and then down an inch. up an inch. If you're untucked in the pelvis, you'll be able to breathe. And if you can breathe, you can keep going. Press into your feet, strong legs, front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, your butt. And you can keep going if you like. When you've had enough, inhale, maybe if it feels good, inhale, reach up to the sky, take a breath, send the front of the hips forward, give the butt a little squeeze, and then we're resting the arms and standing tall. Hey, we're standing. Oh, that's so good. Yes, hello. And while we're standing, let's reach for the top shelf. So this is a hip hiking motion. Let's move this out of the way. Feet are forward. And we'll start off with the hips, and then we're going to add the arms. Ready? I'm going to just shift the weight of the body from one foot to the other foot. Doop-de-doop-de-doo. Now, when I'm a mess, like if I don't do yoga for a day or two, oh dear, yes, it happens. And when I shift from right to left, and I've been ignoring the body, haven't been taking care of myself, when I shift into one leg, I can feel like a lot of tension in my hip. Feeling great today, especially after what we've done already. Notice how you feel. Now we're going to go a little further. As I shift into this leg, I'm going to hike up that ilium, that hip bone. So I'm contracting on this side. I'm long on this side. And then I'm going to come out nice and slow. I'm going to go to the other side. Stand firm. Hike the hip towards your underarm. Feel that contraction. Feel the length. And release. If your arms don't work, you don't have to do the arms. Stand, hike. Now the long, stretchy side is the arm that goes up to the sky. The other arm is reaching down. You can look up or you can look down. Hold for a breath, and then come out nice and slow. Shift the weight into the other leg. Hike up your hip, reach down, reach up, look up. Take a breath, hike the hip, and come down nice and slow. Do it again. Stand, hike the hip. That arm reaches down, the other arm reaches up. Reach. Take a breath. Come out slowly. Last time. Shift the weight. Hike the hip, reach down, reach up. Look up or down, whatever works for your neck right now. Try something different. And then come down nice and slow. Helps release that tension in the lower back, and it allows us to walk a little easier. So when we walk, there's this twisting action that's happening. One hip is forward, one hip is back. And if our waist area, this lower back area is really stiff and tight, we don't do that. So that really helps. While we're here, let's do a little forward bend with the legs straight, feet wide. I'm going to use the seat of my chair. You can use blocks. Turn your toes forward. Now I want you to feel like the front of the thighs are turned on. It'll feel like your kneecaps lift. And I'm going to fold forward to 90 degrees. And then I want you to practice coming all the way back up. Inhale as you come up. Let's do that again. Ready? Forward bend to 90 degrees, using your hamstrings to bring you back up. And now let's go forward. Ready? Forward bend. Grab the seat of your chair. And we're going to lunge. So I'm going to bend one knee. The other leg stays straight. And then I'm going to go the other way. The wider your feet, the easier it is for the hamstrings, and the easier it'll be to find that stretch in the inner thigh of the straight leg. Maybe you put your elbows. And I like to go back and forth at least 2 times. 3 or 4 is great. And then we're going to pause in the center. Draw the belly button in, go into a tucked position of the pelvis. If you have high blood pressure, detached retina, glaucoma, or you are pregnant, stay where you are. Otherwise, down you go. You could take your hands all the way down to the floor or a block. Keep active in your feet, especially staying in that big toe joint. Drop the head. Relax your jaw. Keep weight back in your heels. Turn the feet on. The feet are active. Then when you're ready to come up, turn on the front of the thighs. Draw the belly button in. I like to go hands to the hips. Take the crown of the head forward. Come all the way up. And put yourself back together. And as you bring yourself back together, heels under hips, try hands on hips. Now I'm going to do the opposite of what we were doing. I'm going to bend one knee, let that hip drop down. Straighten. Bend the other knee, let that hip drop down. This action happens when we walk. So if you get this motion going, then you can take a walk and see if you can feel that. As I step forward, that hip goes up. And you don't have to exaggerate it, but just feel it. It happens. Ideally. All right? Oh, the body's so much fun. Let's go down to the floor. Oh my, so many poses. Let's come all the way down and have a little something for under your head. We're gonna do some strengthening for the hips. Now that we've got them mobile, we gotta get them stable. But I wanna start on the back for a moment. If you have something under your head right now, it's not very much, but I have that support for under the head ready to go. Feet on the floor, knees bent. And I want you to breathe in all directions like we did in the chair moments ago at the beginning of class. Inhale, front, back, side to side, top and bottom. One more time. Now what I want you to do is focus on the exhalation. So we've been expanding and stretching and moving, pandiculating to release and stretch muscles. Now we're going to contract muscles. So we're going to inhale, and as you exhale, stay in neutral. Do not talk, and make the sound of SH. Inhale in all directions. Empty all the way. At the end of the exhale, you're going to feel this deep internal contraction. Don't go into a tuck. Stay in neutral. Do it again. Inhale in all directions. Feel the relaxation. Make the sound. The sound is what makes it happen. Empty all the way. Force all the air out. You're going to feel this deep internal hug. You'll even feel the bottom of the pelvic floor muscles turn on. Last time. And then relax. And then roll to your side so you can see me. Bring that support in under your head. Okay. So expanding is expanding. I hope when you inhale, you can feel, oh yeah, I'm expanding in all directions. When we were exhaling, we were finding our core and we felt that deep internal hug. And I need you to do this as we move into this next exercise. Bring your bottom shoulder out from under you a little bit so you're not mushing it. And let's start with my feet are going to be in line with my butt. So look down, look and see. My knees are down a little bit. And I want you to bring your hand to your top hip so that you can feel this. We're going to move the hip down towards the feet and then lower down. Move the hip down towards the feet. That's where we want the hip to be. This is the hips are stacked one on top of the other. And then I want to be in an untucked position. So I want you to feel a little bit of an arch come into the lower back, not a big deal. And then we have to hold ourselves here so we turn on our core. And then lift the top knee. Keep your heels touching. My top heel is pressing into my bottom heel. I'm going to pause here and check your alignment. So we're untucked. The hips are stacked. My waist is a little lifted. And my core is turned on to keep me here. So the core helps keep the spine stable. Now lower the knee down and then take the knee back up. The bottom leg is relaxed. And let's do one more. As I go up, I want you to think about your knee moving forward towards me and up to the sky. We're going to pause right here. And you should feel like, oh yeah, my butt is working. Now we're going to go down an inch and up an inch. Down an inch and up. Check out that bottom leg. Let it relax. Down an inch and up. Down an inch and up. We're going to hold it here. Check your alignment. Untuck. Stack the hips, turn your core on, and we're going to do 4 more. We're going to go all the way down and all the way up. All the way down. The core is on. You can always make your sound. Engage, engage, engage. Feel like the bottom of my waist is lifted. I'm staying very stable through the spine, the torso. And this is our last one. I think we did an extra one. Can really start to feel that burn. And then we're going to lower all the way down. And then let the waist lower down. Oh my gosh. Take a breath. And relax. Okay, we got to do the other side. So I'm going to roll towards you, help myself up. If you want to just roll over and you don't need to see me, I hope the instructions are so fabulous. You can close your eyes and not have to watch. Scooch the bottom shoulder out and fix your feet. Bring your feet in line with your butt. Bring your feet in line with your butt. There we go. All right, here we go. Take your hand to your hip, move your hip down. So that lifts my waist up, right? Let's go up and down. So when I move my hip down, I'm stacking my top hip on top of the bottom hip. When I let my hip come up, this hip is higher than the bottom hip. So I want to get level, so I move my hip down because we're going to exercise the hip. And then I want to untuck the pelvis. Just make sure you're not tucked. We're in a neutral spine. I'm going to untuck. So I'll ask you to stack your hips. That means move the hip down. Now I got to hold myself here with something. Turn your core on. Shh. I feel it firm. My pelvic floor muscles turn on. I'm going to bring this hand to the floor. I'm going to lift up my knee. I'm going to pause here for a moment. Untuck. Stack the hips. Turn on your core. And then we're going to go for it. Ready? Lower the knee. This is number 2. And 3 and 4. Now we're going to pause up here. We're going to go down an inch, untuck, stack the hips, core is on, down an inch, up an inch. Now the bottom leg is going to want to help. So keep relaxing the bottom leg. I can even feel like I'm pushing my top heel into my bottom heel, but the bottom heel is not pressing back. Let's hold it at the top. Check your alignment, untuck, stack the hips, turn the core on. We got 4 more. All the way down and all the way up. All the way down and all the way up. All the way down. And we got 1 more. You can throw an extra one in there if you're feeling it. Should be feeling this all back in the butt if you're in the right pathway here. And then you're going to let it come all the way down. And then you'll feel the waist settle down to the ground and get to relax. Take a breath. And then to your back. If you have a block handy, grab a block and bring it between your knees. Don't need so much under your head now. If you have something under your head, just enough to have the chin and the forehead level. I'm holding my block, arms down by my sides, feet are close to the butt without forcing. Stay in neutral, do not tuck. And then I'm going to press into my feet, engage the glutes, squeeze the block, and lift the hips up and down. We're going to do this a bunch of times. So start off small, feeling safe in the body. You're like, oh yeah, I can do this. This feels good. Exploring. Now these are different muscles. We're engaging a little bit, like I call this the underbutt, the bottom of your butt. We were just on the side of the butt. When we sit on the butt, those muscles are getting compressed and they're not functioning, they're not working. So we can go to get up out of the chair and they can be really lazy. They're like, I'm not helping you get up. And then you go to walk up the stairs. Oh dear. All right, let's stay up. So we got things moving. Now we're opened up in the front of the hips and we're squeezing the glutes. Now we're going to go down an inch and up an inch. As you go up, think about your knees moving forward and your heels moving towards your butt. And this will give you some traction. Doop. And then if you feel good, you can stay up. And then we're going to go all the way down and all the way up for 4 more. So all the way down, you're just going to bump your butt to the ground and then come all the way back up. Coming down, just touch the sacrum lightly, just the fuzz on your pants touching the floor, and then back up you go. So not really ever relaxing. We'll let them do that in a moment. This is the last one. You can hold it up at the top, squeeze the inner thighs, use your glutes, send the knees forward, your heels coming towards your butt, take a breath, and then come down nice and slow, rolling through the spine. Oh my. And relax. Take your block out, separate your feet, take your arms wide, both knees to the right, both knees to the left. Keep your feet wide, close your eyes, and notice what's happening. Rotating to the big toe edge of the foot and the baby toe edge of the foot. As the top hip is up, whatever hip is towards the sky, pause. If you press into the outer edge, the big toe edge of the foot, you can press into the foot and just kind of send the hip more forward. Go the other way. So I want you to feel how we've integrated. When we were standing up earlier, we were doing our squats, our chair pose, and I asked you to open the front of the hips and engage your glutes. We were just doing that in the last pose, bridge, but we can also do it here in this rotation. As I press into the top foot, the big toe edge of the foot, it opens the front of the hip, the front of the thigh, and the butt engages slightly. It is not forceful. And for the last few, let the head rotate side to side, opposite direction of your knees. Maybe your arms want to come up overhead. And when you're feeling complete, we're going to pause in the center. Bring the knees to the chest, one, then the other. And have the knees wide. Take the knees out towards the underarms so that you can rock a little side to side. Maybe take your feet up towards the sky. Maybe hold on to the outer edges of the feet. Feels so yummy. And then coming down when you're ready. We are preparing for Shavasana. You can keep it simple, put the feet on the floor, knees bent, constructive rest, or you can support under your knees. What I don't want you to do is just lay flat with your legs straight. That'll feel good for about a minute, but then it won't feel good. And then you'll be like, "Ooh, I'm done. I can't do this anymore." And I want to stay for a little longer than a minute, maybe 4. If your legs are over a blanket or 2, make sure your heels are going to touch the ground or use a block. And if you're having those rolled blankets under the knees, really go behind the knees and towards the thighs. Put your socks back on. We want to be warm. Take a couple long breaths. As you're noticing those long breaths, see if you can get the exhale to be longer than the inhale. Notice that softening that happens on the exhalation. As your breath returns to a natural rhythm, just be aware of your feet, your legs, and your hips, that whole lower half of the body. Feet, legs, hips, outside and inside. Just notice feet, legs, and hips resting. Be aware of hands, arms, and shoulders. All at the same time. Resting completely. Noticing your torso. Noticing the front and the back. The torso back and front. And inside the torso, softening through all of those internal organs. Be aware of your neck, head, and face, outside and inside. Feel your jaw rest, your eyes soften. Witnessing the whole body, all the parts, all at the same time. Letting go. Notice the body resting. Feeling so thankful for the body. Maybe even expanding beyond gratitude and feeling love towards the whole body. Even the parts that frustrate you, feeling love towards the body. And breathing into that feeling of love. Like you just fill the whole body with love. The inhale is love. Fill the body with a feeling of love. What an amazing body. When it feels right, roll to your side, bring your knees up, and curl up in a fetal position and pause. This is important. So if you're not ready, don't do it yet. But before you pop up to get on with your day, pause on your side. Give the body the message. Give your nervous system the message that you're not in a hurry, that you can move gracefully throughout the day with awareness, grace, strength. Confidence. When you're ready to come up, you turn your chest more towards the floor. Draw the belly in and peel yourself up off the ground. And then just sit for a moment. Take a breath. Notice how you feel. I thank you, and your body thanks you for taking the time. Namaste.